Dharshana Sarvam Sadanin Saurabham Dharshana Yen Jeevana Sayujam Dharshana Snehamridam Yennileku Dharshana. When he told me the story, I think the songs we had was around 8 to 9 songs.
Okay.
So we never thought there will be 15 songs in the, in the film. So we had that world music kind of involvement into HRIDAYAM's world. And also HRIDAYAM for a fact had lot of characters. The first song we did was Dharshana, and I think we took almost an hour or so to fix the song, and it was done. In that cube mode itself, that song was done. So I don't pressurize myself, because if I pressurize myself, then you will not be able to compose songs at peace. Starting from Rahman sir, starting from Hans Zimmer, starting from Ryuichi Sakamoto, and lot of composers, Ilayaraja sir, and in Malayalam, if you look back, Avse Bachchan sir, Ravindra Mash, Vidya sir, lot of musicians are there, and even currently Santosh Ji, Ani, lot of musicians are there. Like if you say, for example, Tanishq Bagji's work.
Yeah.
So I love his work actually. I love his sounding, and he is someone who has done originals, but at the same time he is someone who has cracked remix songs.
V4U மீடியா நேயர்களுக்கு வணக்கம். இன்னைக்கு நம்ம கூட யார் இருக்காங்கன்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, பர்சனலி ரீசெண்ட் டைம்ஸில் நான் ஒரு ஆல்பமை ரசித்து கேட்ட ஒரு படம் ஹிருதயம். அண்ட் ஹிருதயம் படத்துடைய மியூசிக் டைரக்டர் ஹிஷாம் அப்துல் வஹாப் தான் நம்ம கூட இருக்காங்க. வணக்கம்.
வணக்கம். வணக்கம்.
How are you doing?
I've never been better. It's great to be in Chennai again for the recordings. I'm so glad that I'm doing this interview also. I think for the very first time I'm doing an interview, for Chennai audience.
Okay, yeah. And I'm glad I'm the first one to take that as well.
Yeah,
and honestly, I didn't expect you would return back to my message saying that, okay, let's go ahead with the interview, because I was blown away with your work in Hridayam.
Thank you, Paras.
Like, I had that entire album playing on my mind on loop for a very long time, and then my sister was like, she got very pissed off. Can you just move on with some other album? Why are you playing it on loop? And a lot of emotions, memories to connect with regard to the entire album.
Yeah, I think even for same here also, that whole album, when you're looking back, it's like a journey.
True.
Not only for me, for the director Mr. Vineeth, Sreenivasan, and for everyone in that album. So 2 years of work, 2.5 years of hard work, I think that's paid off. So yeah, all thanks to the people also who have supported the album. Yeah.
True, yeah. So how was it working with Mr. Vineeth Sreenivasan, who also has a great taste in music? So his musical knowledge is very good, and you were along with him. You had a lot of new things implemented in the film, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about that.
I think I have to start from the beginning. So I came into the project in 2019 when Mr. Vineeth narrated the story to me, and he told me, Hesham, you are going to do the music for the film. But I think when he told me the story, I think the songs we had was around 8 to 9 songs.
Okay.
So we never thought there will be 15 songs in the in the film. And then we had 2 lockdowns that came in between, and that's when the album started enlarging. It started becoming big. And during the lockdown period, the director, he started improvising certain scenes with music.
Okay.
So he told me, Hesham, let's try and insert a song here and see how it will evolve. And that's how Onakkamundri song came. That's how Kural Kekkada song came. That's how Nagamov song came. So I think it was a very creative process. And I think, like you said, the director's musical knowledge actually helped me as a musician. I think any musician would be lucky to have a director who is musically involved. So Vineeth, who himself is a singer, who is a musician, it helped me a lot, in that journey. Yeah.
Okay, and also Hridayam as an album, if you look at it, it does not have one specific genre attached to it. It is vast in its own nature. And not just that, it had a lot of Tamil flavor to it, some Arabic, and all of that. We can't put it into one particular category. So whose conscious effort was that?
I think it was a team effort. But definitely captain of the ship was Vineeth. And he insisted that we wanted to create an album that will stand out, like a timeless album. You know, even over the years when you are hearing the album, you will have to, you know, it should give you that kick. You know, somewhere inside the heart, you know, you should feel, oh, okay, this is like a sound that was forgotten. So that was our main aim. Create an album that will stand out, that will be timeless. Right from Dharshana song. So that's when we thought about recording instruments from Turkey.
Yeah.
And we took a flight and went to Istanbul. We recorded a lot of instruments there, baglama and oud and ney, kanun, lot of instruments. Then we came back, we came to Chennai to record Elfe band, chorus. We recorded Dilruba Saroja ma'am, Embarkandan sir, Punya Sreenivasan ji. So we had that amalgamation of Middle Eastern music plus Asian music, you know, and plus some Western a cappella. So we had that world music kind of involvement into Hridayam's world. And also Hridayam for a fact had lot of characters.
Yeah.
Now if you are talking about Arun, if you are talking about Dharshana, and if you are talking about Maya and Kalyani, Nitya's character, and you have Selva on one side. So all these characters are coming together. So I think because of that also the music looked so huge, because we have Minnal Kodi one song on one side, we have Chitrama's Mugilinde Maravugalil. So all these created that whole world. I would say that's how the music world of Hridayam became big.
Okay, so you as a music director, you would have put your heart and soul in every other track, but you would have a personal favorite, right, that you would listen to on loop.
No, I think all songs are personal for me, because otherwise I'll sound prejudiced. All songs are personal for me, because every song that you're getting to work on is like your baby. So right from the first song to the last song, I think everything is always, it's in balance.
Okay.
It's not like one song is higher or lower. So I work for the film, so all songs are same for me. Yeah.
All right. So which was the first track that you composed and the last one that you did?
The first song we did was Dharshana, and I think we took almost an hour or so to fix the song, and it was done. You know, in that quick mode itself, that song was done.
Okay.
We just recorded the bass, and we just put a pad, and I just took my mic and sang. So I had the director Vineeth beside me. That was one of the very first sessions that we worked on, Dharshana song. And then Arun Alat, who wrote the lyrics for Dharshana, he came in with the lyrics, and then we recorded Dharshana's voice for Nabasil, that area. That's how that song shaped up. And the last song I think we worked on was Nagumo. Okay. Nagumo song and Nagumo Revival. Those were the final songs that we worked on.
All right.
Yeah.
So which was the best compliment you received for your work in Hridayam?
I think the best happy moment that happened was definitely would be the Kerala State Awards that came by for Hridayam. And definitely I dedicate that to my director Vineeth, to my family, especially my wife Aisha. She is my biggest support. So I think they were more happy, than what I was, because I was very tensed. When the awards were announced, I was like, okay, now the world will seem a little bit different. I'll have to be internally. I was getting a little more serious towards my approach into music. So every film that I have committed now will have that kind of serious approach. So I cannot, you cannot fool around or do a music just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
So, and Hridayam has put me into a position where I have to be little more serious towards the music that I'm making. And by God's grace, I think, I'm going in that momentum.
Great going, actually. In fact, I was just surprised when you were signed on board for Khushi as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Another exciting project starring Vijay Deverakonda, Samantha.
That also, it's a God's blessing, because that came at a point where my three movie makers, they are the producers of Khushi, and Shiva Nirvana, who previously did Majli and all, he is the director. So they only had one demand, that I have to be available the very next day to finish one song.
Okay.
And I was kind of skeptical first, because I had back-to-back films in Malayalam, which is happening now. But I took up that challenge, because I think for me in my musical life, those challenges are the exciting ones. That keeps you going forward. Otherwise, you will get saturated, just sitting in the studio and working. So I took flight to Hyderabad, and we worked on a few demos, and we cracked one by God's grace. And then I was in Khushi. I was welcomed into Khushi. And Khushi is a totally different world. It has a lot of Kashmiri vibe. It has a lot of Kerala vibe. and definitely that Telugu audience
has to
pulse
be
is
there,
there.
yeah.
And I think Shiva, it would be Shiva's till date. It would be Shiva's biggest film until now, and I think we are working very hard on that. Yeah.
Okay. Do you find yourself under pressure after the release of Hridayam? Like, of course, like you will be called like Hridayam music director Hesham. So, any time at any point, have you felt that pressure? Like you have to deliver even better, even better.
Well, I think I would rather than saying pressure, I'm excited about all the projects that I've taken. So there is an internal push for me. You know, I will not show that to my team. You know, like I have around 6 to 7 people who are with me now full time.
Okay.
But I won't show that pressure, or I won't show that face to them. You know, I'll try to keep them inspired, because at some point I was inspired by, you know, the peers or by the legend musicians, which is why I'm here. So I have to continue that journey. I have to keep inspiring my team, and I will have that internal push, because you will have the directors calling you, you will have the producers pressure, you will have deadlines that you need to meet, you will have to finish songs on time.
Yeah.
So all these are part of the music composing process. So I take it like that. So I don't pressurize myself, because if I pressurize myself, then you will not be able to compose songs at peace.
True.
And I think in this generation, you do not have the liberty to sit back, you know, take 1 week of time to compose a song. Literally, you have to compose the song then and there. And I have you know, practiced myself in a way that you have to immediately finish the song, you know, even at pressured situations. So I'm at peace always, mentally at least. Yeah.
That's quite needed at the moment.
Yeah, it's very needed, and it is something that we as music composers have to tackle, because directors might come to you immediately and say, I want a demo, you know, I want a song immediately be done. And this is happening right now when I'm saying, because for Khushi or for, you know, all the other films, they all are running behind schedules, because they'll have actors dates to so and so dates,
Right.
and you have to finish a lot of things. So it's like that.
So you just recently delivered a hit in Malayalam with Hridayam. Now you've moved on to your Telugu debut with Khushi. When are you planning to make your debut in Tamil? Like, we want to see you as a Tamil music director as well.
Yeah, I think by God's grace, I think it's for the first time I'm telling in an interview. So I've officially signed up with Kavidalaya Productions, K. Balachandra sir's production company, and Mr. Udaya Mahesh, who has acted in Family Guy.
Yeah. Correct.
Family Man, sorry. So it's his debut film, and G.V. Prakash is acting in the film. So that will be my debut in Tamil.
Great. So looking forward to it, and all the very best
Thank you.
on your Tamil debut as
Thank
well.
you. Yeah.
So 10 years down the line, where do you see yourself?
I just hope the music I make stays. So I don't know what will happen to me in the next 10 years, but I'm very sure that the music I make, I want it to stay. It has to inspire a lot of people, and I want to enlarge or elaborate the kind of music we make into a world music. I know already now our music has already been pushed into the international scale, but I think there is a lot more that we can do. The traditions that are there in India is dying, the traditional music. So I think it's time we, you know, revive those traditional music and merge it with the music that we have now, rather than going into a more Western or outside Indian mode, which is what happens now. We have to bring back our traditional music, you know, and merge it into independent or film music, whatever is there here, and that will stay. So that is what my aim is.
That's a very lovely thought, actually. Like, very few people think like what you just
Yeah,
did.
because for example, one of the reasons why Hridayam's music could be standing out is because we have used a lot of Indian instruments and a lot of Middle Eastern instruments. All the instruments are traditional. And if you go, when we went to Istanbul, when the musicians are playing baglama, they have been playing baglama the moment, you know, at their third age or something. So like that instrument is part of their life. So that has an internal role in every song when you are using such instruments rather than using a synth. It's not, no offense to that, but it has a reason. So my main aim is merge these both worlds together, and many musicians are doing that now. Even Rahman sir has done that, and Anirudh is doing that. So all the musicians are in that journey. I just want to be part of that journey.
All Right. Now that you've mentioned, whom do you consider to be your inspiration in the field of music?
I think a lot of composers are there. I think one interview will not be enough for that. Starting from Rahman sir, starting from Hans Zimmer, starting from Ryuichi Sakamoto, and lot of composers, Ilayaraja sir. And in Malayalam, if you look back, Ausepachan sir, Ravindra Mash, Vidyasagar sir, lot of musicians are there. And even currently, Santosh Chi, Ani, lot of musicians are there. And I think you are taking the best from all the music composers. You are embracing music and you are putting into your system, and then you are creating something new. So everyone will have their space. That's how I work.
What is your take on songs being remixed or old songs being used or revisited in recent times?
See, I think there are two sides. It's like two sides of a coin. So if it works in the best way, if it is reaching a lot of people, then I think it works. Now, if it is not reaching the right audience, if it is going in a wrong way, then I think it needs to be given thought. So it's like you cannot comment on something like that. So I personally, I am someone who enjoys remixes, and I am someone who is vocal about such things. I enjoy doing that. Not that I've done that anything in my work, but like if you say, for example, Tanishq Bagji's work.
Yeah.
So I love his work actually. I love his sounding, and he is someone who has done originals, but at the same time he is someone who's cracked remix songs. So I think he's been given his duty, and I think he has said that it's his job to do something like that. And rather than making something very clumsy or cheesy, if you're doing it the right way, then I think it works.
You've got to be careful and conscious with that.
I think it's not even about remixes. When you are doing original song also, there are high chances that the song might not work. So it's the same with remixes also. If it's done in a very smart way, I think if it works, then it works. Yeah.
Okay. So before we could come to the end of this interview, உங்களை பாட விடாம நான் அப்படியே முடிச்சிட்டேன்னா ஆடியன்ஸ் என்ன நல்லா திட்ட போறாங்க. So few lines from Dharshana.
Sure. നീ പോകും വഴിയിൽ വരം കാത്തു നിന്നു ഒരു നോക്കു നൽകാതകന്നു നീ ഓർക്കുന്ന നേരം കനലാണു നെഞ്ചിൽ മറുവാക്ക് ചൊല്ലാത്തതെന്തേ ഏതൊരാഴത്തിൽ മൂടി വെച്ചാലും അഴകേ മനസ്സു തേടിയെത്തുന്നു നിന്റെ ഈ പുഞ്ചിരി നീയാ മധുവേ നുകരാൻ കാത്തു ഞാൻ ദർശന സർവം സദാ നിൻ സൗരഭം ദർശന എൻ ജീവന സായുജ്യം ദർശന സ്നേഹാമൃതം എന്നിലേക്കു ദർശന. Thank you.
I'm truly one of those few people who's blessed enough to listen to this live. Thank you so much.
That's kind of
and it was so nice of you.
Thank you, Pranav.
Thank you so much. Wishing you a great future ahead.
Thank you.
And finally, what would you like to tell our viewers?
Definitely, thanks for all the support and prayers that you all have given. And I think all the prayers and support should always be there. And hereafter, I wish to do good music and for good films, and be part of that music movement, and let music inspire everyone. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.